Welcome to Storytime with Sugar. Today we're reading The House at the End of Ladybug Lane. It was the house at the end of Ladybug Lane, and in the Natalinis, it was a dream come true. They had left city life behind. Good riddance, said Mr. Natalini. Why, it made my clothes wrinkly just to walk out the door. That city was not neat, said Mrs. Natalini. When they moved to the house at the end of Ladybug Lane, the Noodleinis threw everything inside away to get rid of the clutter. They shampooed the walls and the floors till they were squeaky clean. Then they went outside and vacuumed the grass and polished the flowers. Now at the house at the end of Ladybug Lane was the perfect place for all the Noodleinis, all except one. Angelina was the only Noodleini who was not neat. Her parents dressed her up in starchy pressed pants and tried to hold her hair down with perfect tight bows. But 5 minutes later, Angelina was always a wrinkly and rumpled and covered in crumbs. Not only that, she constantly pestered her parents to buy her a pet. A pet, the Noodleini said. Pets are not neat. Could I please have a dog or a cat or a gerbil, some lovebirds, a parrot? How about a chicken, an iguana, or maybe some raccoons? Pets are messy, her parents said. A sand crab? A jellyfish? Angelina said hopefully. Stop being a pest. Her parents stomped off to their neat room. We'll see you in the morning at 6:23. Angelina gazed out the window sadly, and when she saw the first star, she whispered, I wish I had a pet. No problem, a tiny voice said. A ladybug stood alone on the sill. She twirled around 3 times to the right and 3 times to the left. Abracadabra, ta-da! Give this kid a pest. Pet, yelled Angelina. Right away, the pest came. He went straight to the kitchen and emptied his bag. Out tumbled magical things like powdered sky, tincture of marigold, ground up forget-me-nots, and distilled eye of daydreams. He preheated the oven to 350 degrees and started at once to sift and to stir. He silently mixed everything into a batter which sloshed out of bowls and plopped onto the floor. He made a horrible mess, but soon cookies and cake fritters and pies flew out of the oven and covered the counters and shelves. The ladybug grinned. This pest has been looking for ages for just the right nest. But I wanted a pet, not a pest. Angelina stomped her foot. What? Said the ladybug, cupping an ear. I'm sorry, my dear, but I couldn't quite hear. Angelina said louder, I wish I had a nice little minnow, a sparrow, or perhaps some sardines. No problem, said the ladybug. Abracadabra, ta-da! Give this kid some carpenter bees. The bees whooshed in through a window and got right to work building couches and chairs. But you don't understand, Angelina cried. I'd like a pet turtle, a tuna, or maybe a non-biting viper. Excellent idea, said the ladybug. Abracadabra, ta-da! Give this kid a pink widow spider. A large, hairy pink spider crawled in through the window and made lacy white curtains. She made comfy striped cushions and squishy plaid pillows, and for the floors she made rugs. The ladybug said proudly, She's my best weaving bug. You're not hearing my wishes, Angelina said, pouting. By any chance, do you think I might have a pet poodle? No problem, replied the ladybug. Abracadabra, ta-da! Give this kid 12 doodles. The doodlebugs marched in and covered the walls with colors like parakeet yellow, Mary pink, and Christmas red. They painted all the trim cornflower blue. Angelina gave up and snuggled next to the pest, who offered her a chrysanthemum cupcake. The night was now over. The first rays of sun shone through the lace curtains and showed off all the bugs' work. Pretty, Angelina declared. Much to her surprise, the house at the end of Ladybug Lane was the perfect place to be. Look at the time, said the ladybug. Why, it's 6:23. 6:23. Angelina braced herself for what would come next. The Noodleinis emerged from their bedroom. Their eyes blinked and their mouths gaped. At the top of their lungs, they both screamed, Our house is not neat. Get rid of these pests. For the first time all night, the ladybug could hear perfectly. No problem, she said. Abracadabra, ta-da! And poof, she disappeared. The other bugs scattered, except for the pest. Oh, please, let him stay, Angelina begged. Try his cakes, taste his cookies. So her parents nibbled a cookie and tasted a cake, a blueberry fritter, and a prune Danish or two. Yummy, they said, then gobbled the cranberry turnovers and a pineapple cobbler. The Needleenies flopped onto a polka dot couch. Don't you just love the house and these rooms now? Angelina asked. Why, it sparkles, it dazzles, the Needleenies said with their mouths full, having no idea that everything they were eating was loaded with magic. By 6:53, the Needleenies had agreed to let the pest stay. No, Angelina still was not neat, but now her parents didn't want to change her one bit. They all lived happily ever after with the pest in the house at the end of Ladybug Lane. But Angelina Needleenie, it was a dream come true.